Hello and welcome to another episode of Space Engineers. As we are waking up in our little bunk bed, I did a little bit of renovations to the interior of the dropship here. Expanded this wall out a little bit, added a double bed. You got the moved where the locker is, added a potted plant to make me happy. And yeah, everything is good. Also added a secondary door on the area out from the main living quarters. As why am I still dying? Come on, Smurder's suit. Automatically put my helmet on. As there was just, I was losing a lot of atmosphere opening that door and venting it every single time, so I'll put a thing on it. And now, what we're going to do today is we have a brand new day. We can see how much progress I've been making with this guy. Like, holy crap, we have dug out so much stuff. And the procedure of putting a little landing gear on this, locking it to the wall, retracting and adding more pistons, has allowed me, in the last time, I added like 3 pistons to this thing. So this thing's going to be able to go out really far before having to replace it and put on more pistons. So this is working excellently. And I believe, yes, we're at the point here. Whoop, something loaded in. Aquila strike ship. Oh, cool stuff. We're at the point here where we need to make it a little bit further again. So let's us find this one. It's already at 10, so we need to go to the next one and set it to, it's at 2. Also want to make sure its velocity isn't stupidly high. Maximum distance, 4. I'm doing 2 meters per rotation. And I could do this automatically, and I probably should do it automatically, but this is working out well enough for me. If I just check it every so often, every time it does a revolution, I increase it by a couple meters, and it's just been chewing its way through all of this stone. Now the downside is that, unfortunately, I have these little bits that are floating here, and they have collision, and I bump into them. I will have to make sure I go through and I take a mining ship and I clear all this stuff out before I start building it here. Because if you have like this tiny little strip, look at this. If I run into that at some point with a ship, my ship's going to get torn to shreds. So I need to make sure that I grab my drill, and I very finicky, because it doesn't have a defined hitbox. There it goes. Just disappeared because I was doing the right click to just delete it. So yeah, I'm going to have to make sure I clean up the surface. This area seems to be doing quite well to getting rid of most of it, where areas like over here, it's actually got a little bit of a thickness to it. So it's like there's a little bit of a crust remaining that I am mining underneath. But, we'll get through it. If not, at some point, what I can do is I can just cut away the walkways that are going out, and then I can add another rotor to this, another drill on top to get rid of all that stuff. Or, yeah, I can do it somehow. But that'll be for the future. In the meantime, because we've had this thing working so well, and I'll talk about the fighter here that I've designed in a moment, I am completely lousy with stone. Like, I just have so much stone, it is ridiculous. I'm processing pure stone all the time, yet I have, like, millions of stone everywhere. There's 10 million, there's 11 million, there's 2.5 million. I just have so much stone at all times, and it keeps piling up. It's the entire reason why I've added a couple additional cargo pods here, as I can't handle it all. There's way too much. So we need to put some production on this, specifically some refineries, so that we can start getting rid of this stone. And also, because there's just no room for it, some of the stone was finding its way into places where it shouldn't be. Like, there's stone in my hydrogen generators for some reason. I need to start to pull it out of there and get some of this processed. Now, anything up here is going to be temporary because I will eventually, once this is done digging out all of my Xeon base stuff, which will take a very long time, but once I've got an area down here I can work with, I'm going to set up all my industry down there. But I think temporarily I'm going to have to set up some industry right here. This straight line, as it is right here, is going to be cargo, and I can expand to that however much I need. So I think what we need to do is get a few refineries out here and attach to this, along with some conveyors. 1, 2, 3. Just grab some conveyor tubes and then just some steel plates, because whatever. We'll let the nanites do all of the hard work when it comes to putting these refineries in position. So what I think I want to do is essentially every cargo container, because I can plug it in like so, I'm going to add a refinery onto it. And that should... That won't give me enough space, though, I feel. Right? Oh, it could... Oh, it would just barely give me enough space to add in all of the upgrades, so I won't have to spend as much power on here. But I don't want them super duper high. I'd like them to be on the floor. I don't want them, like, hanging in the air. So we're going to expand this out temporarily. And we're going to take a little bit of a tube and run it like so, just so I have enough room to walk underneath it if need be. I can walk down this pathway. And how should I run this? I might run it as a turn that way. Then what I can do is I can take this. Oh, I could go one further out. Yeah, that would work. I'm going to put that there. That's where I'm going to plug into. So let's go one further out, then down, then into the refinery. Then from here, since there's a connector right here, I can just go refinery into refinery and then just keep going out as long as it's needed, and they will connect into each other. So an additional 5 refineries will do quite well in getting all this stuff figured out. So let's get these wonderful things welded up. Failed to transfer. Storage is full. God damn it. There's so much stuff in there right now. That's why I need to get these this industry temporarily in position here, as I'm running out of space. And I need metal grids, eh? Alright, let's come on. I don't have access to metal grids, fine. We'll queue production for several refineries, and then we'll leave that there. Also, as this thing gets its materials, it will build these up, and then they will start processing all of the stone. But in the meantime, we have our shadow from our asteroid passing over us, and we can take a look at the fighter that I have come up with for our next thing here. Now, this fighter, I feel, is going to be a good base design, and it's still being made based off the blueprint. What I did is I put down just a normal rotor, I took off its top, put on a small head, then put a projector on that small head, then extended it out to the center, and then lined it up with the projector, and the nanite facility has just been building away with me helping it a little bit for the exterior armor. But the idea behind this ship is that it's essentially a gunship. It's for hit and run type quick attacks that are not going to be like sort of stand and deliver type, you know, bunch of guns pointing forward from the ship here. And what I've done is I've actually added another mod. We have the advanced rotor small, and this allows you to do an advanced rotor, but a 1x1x1 on small ship, which is so useful because you can do all sorts of fun stuff with it, and it's not a requirement to have when you just do an advanced rotor on a small ship, it would be this size, which is fairly beefy, and I didn't really want to do that. I wanted nice small rotors. So I'm thinking the weaponry for this ship is actually going to be multiple rotor turrets in different locations, and I'm going to have to set them all up in terms of their limits for which angles they can point at and such. But we're going to have one on top, and we're going to use small rotors for it. So let me just grab a little bit of materials, and I can probably build this, at least this one on top up. Yes, get the stuff for advanced rotor. We'll also need 2 more of that. Just grab a little bit of extra, a little bit of armor. We're also going to need stuff for some Gatling guns. Oh, more metal grids. Okay, we'll get to that. Come on, production. You get some metal grids made. What do you not have? Nickel and cobalt. Do you not have nickel and cobalt on hand? Assembler. You are... See, this is the issue with my storage, is I'm running out of spaces for things. There's freaking like 200,000 iron in these things. It doesn't need to be that much iron. It's just we're running out of space. And now it's picking up nickel and cobalt. Now it's making metal grids. So we'll also just queue up a bunch of metal grids, because why not? We'll get these metal grids out front, because we'll need them made. Okay, let's grab things we need for Gatling guns. Come on. Okay, got enough to make it 1 at least. So the idea being here, if I can get this welded up, which I probably need my crosshair to do this. Come on, let's get this welded. Unable to place... You need interior plate. Oh. Also, I need energy. Thankfully, this should be connected to the base. So, if I pop in here, this should give me energy. No fuel. I should really turn off my nuclear reactor. Or just dismantle it, because I've run out of power on it. But oh well. Alright, fuel is... My power is back up. Give me interior plates. Please. There we go. Now we should be able to place this. Excellent. Small advanced rotor. And we got the small rotor top. Now we can get a small conveyor. Add in small rotors on each side. And small... Oh, we could... And we can either do, because it has a connection directly, like so. Oh, come on. I need small tubes. I'll just grab stuff for more conveyors. That should give me what I need. And any more stuff for... No. The metal grids that are being used are being put into these refineries right away. Well, at least they're getting close to being built. But this will be fine. So essentially what we could do, because this has got a connection here, we could just put a gun right on this and line it up like so. And one on this side, like so. And there you've got a tiny little rotor turret. You go then to get this awesome item from Oki's weapon pack, which... Where is this here? It's one of these... Occam's Industries stuff. It's got this Oki observation unit, and it's this tiny little turret that exists for small grid. We put that on there, and we get some stuff for it, so we can weld it up. No more metal grids! Oh god, everything needs metal grids. But essentially, what that can act as is it would be the designator for this particular turret. And then every single particular turret that I make can have its own designator, which means that they can have different targets if one is out of range. So there's different mounts here. We've got one on the back. We've got one on each side right here. You can see where there would be the advanced rotor eventually when it's being welded up. one over here, and also one on the chin. The downside of having this as a blueprint, though, is it's really sad because when you blueprint something into a survival world, it doesn't blueprint with subgrids, which is what these are. Excuse me. So that I had this all set up on the blueprint. It's on the workshop, this particular ship. It has turrets. They're all set up. They're armored. Every single rotor is named and everything. All their like how many degrees it can turn and what angles it can shoot at is all prepared and all good. So all you need to do is just paste it into a creative world. But if you do it in survival, it doesn't load these damn subgrids in. So you have to remake all the turrets, which is unfortunate. It'll probably take me about 20 minutes once the thing is fully set up just to do all of the settings, but whatever. Alternatively, what I could do is if I wanted to have this have more firepower, because I'm going to be limiting this to this particular turret is only going to be able to shoot from straight forward to 90 degrees straight up, and it's not going to be able to do anything else. That way it's guaranteed not going to be able to shoot my own ship. We could also do stuff like this, where we bring this forward, and we could make a little thing in front of it like this, like so, and give it like multiple guns, like that. I just give it this like huge, all the guns. But I think that having just a couple, or maybe four, because if we just have the one conveyor junction here, we get that welded up, we could have the guns like, I gotta get out of the way so it's not gonna bother me. You could have one gun like so, and one gun like so. So we can have a total of 4 guns on there, nicely laid out, ready to kick ass. And I think that looks pretty devastating. Can you imagine having 4 of those? One there, one there, one there, and one over here. And then you trying to fly by this ship and having like all of these Gatling guns just lighting you up. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And let me pop into the cockpit of this so I can get a little bit more of my oxygen, hydrogen, and energy back. And we good. But yeah, I spent way too long on the armor shaping for this, getting all these nice smooth shapes into these engine nacelles that have nice conveyors inside of them with plenty of hydrogen thrust pointing in every single direction, so that it is a very maneuverable ship, and also is able to stop quickly because it has the same amount of thrust backwards as it has forwards. I think this ship is going to do quite well for me. However, it's still going to need some more time to get set up, as the nanite machine is working on it. It's doing the best it can. But in the meantime, let's get these refineries working so we can get rid of this excess stone that we have. How is those metal grids? Please, make the metal grids first. Actually, let's just cut the rest of this stuff and just get those metal grids functioning, because they're the most important part right now, it seems, that I'm out of. Okay, let's grab stuff for the rest of the refineries and just put them in manually. Let's see what we're missing here. That's just missing grids. That's just missing grids. It's all just missing grids. Actually, this one's ready. It just needs to be connected. So it just needs the ones in between to be finished off. So, excellent. And now that that was activated, let's see, what do you have gotten to you? Stone! Yes! That's exactly what you should be processing. And it looks like they're all online, so let's get On this side, stone. This side, refineries. And let's go to one of the large cargo containers. This has like this 11 million. And let's transfer out a couple 100,000 to each refinery. And get them processing every single refinery, processing on stone. That is wonderful. Get that stone. Get it out of here. As I just have too much of it. Also, we're going to need some modules here. Let's go for some power efficiency. Because I'm still having power issues as, you know, we don't have infinite reactors with nuclear energy on this base yet. We're still living off of this solar panel. So we have to be a little bit efficient with our stuff. But speaking of that, we'll just put all these on and maybe get one or two welded, but the nanites will get the most of this figured out here soon. What I think I might have to do is I'm continuing to expand to the solar panel, just making it bigger and bigger. I can't go any further this way because it's going to run into the base here. But I can go as long as I want this way out, except for the fact that this ship is here. So what I think what I might have to do, and also the fact that I'm just about starting to mine out underneath the ship, is that I'm going to cut the ship off, take it off its connector here, extend this out maybe another, I don't know, 10 blocks or whatever, just so it can be further out, and then reconnect it. So that's way I can add several more solar panels in every way, and get the solar power even better, even stronger, which would be great. So we'll get conveyors and connectors and solar panels. And temporarily, I think we should just shut down the... we could probably leave the nanite machine on for the moment. We're just going to disconnect and fly a little bit further away. So I think the easiest way to do this would be actually just to grind this off, to disconnect it from the base. Hopefully there's not much stuff in here. Oh, jeez, what is that? Silicon and a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let's make sure we gather all that up. Because now, this base is separate, which the only really bad thing is that this battery is like completely separate from the base. It's the only battery on this base. So this base is running entirely on solar panels at the moment, and could theoretically... Oh, this is a lot of stuff here. 189. Oh my god, why didn't I get that transferred before I cut it off? Yes, we'll have to pick all that up. But let's see, grab this one because it's only 0.2, and also the nanites will come and pick this stuff up. So I might just be able to leave it. Yeah, well, it'll be fine. We're gonna have infinite resources in the future anyway from processing all those stones. So let's just get this thing a little bit further away. Why is that sticking through there? Is that because I put the light there? Huh. Interesting. I might have to move that light. So let us unlock... Oh, I need to maybe put on my hydrogen thrusters here. Let's grab thrusters. And yeah, it's going to activate the ones on the mining ship inside, or my utility ship. But it should have a group for them that I can turn back off. Excellent. All right. Unlock and lift off. Let's flatten out a little bit. And just slide off to the side. Move a little bit away. There we go. That should be good. I should be able to add a whole bunch more solar panels in that space. So let's land back down so I'm not wasting all my hydrogen. Excellent. I'm going to close my doors. You don't want these places venting to space. And let's see, do we have the stuff on here to create... Not enough interior plates. Do you have my interior plates? Yes, you do. Let's grab everything I need to make a bunch of tubes. And extend this bad boy out. And I think that's probably going to be more than enough. I can connect to that. As if I expand my solar tower that large, that's going to be silly. Let's get this welded first, I guess. While I'm here, and I've got the materials on hand. And I also think it might be a good idea if I set up a filter in here to a little two-way filter. So the idea is I want to be able to control what goes between my ship and this, so I can sorter. So I can set things up. I need computers, eh? Oh, hopefully I'll have computers on this ship. Because this guy's got all the assemblers. Good. The idea being, what I'll do is I'll take one or two of these off. We're going to put a junction, a sorter facing towards the ship, and a sorter facing away from the ship, then a curved pipe, and another junction. Then on this junction, we'll put the connector, which I need a steel plate for. And the idea behind that is that I need 150 more steel plates. They're all over here. And I can just deposit everything I need and grab everything I need for a connector. Very good. So the idea being, because we have a conveyor, a filter going this way, and a filter going this way, I can set what can be transferred back and forth. So I could have it so that the base could give me a material I need, while this thing is giving something to the base that it needs. Oh, thank you, nanites. I was going to have to run back and get more materials, but you did it for me. Thank you. But I can change that as my needs differ. So conveyor, sorter, whatever this one is, which I should be able to pick out here if I get to its thing here. Yep. So this would be conveyor, sorter to ship. Let's call this from base, because that'll be easier. From base, and the conveyor sorter here is to base. I can say, well, to base, we should blacklist a certain material, or we should whitelist a certain material. So say we want to drain everything from the... eventually we're going to drain everything from the dropship. So going to the base, we will blacklist some, let's say, ice. Because we still want all of our ice to be able to run our hydrogen on the ship. So let's blacklist ice. Also, we want to blacklist ammo, because we want to keep all of our ammo on the ship. But beyond that, there isn't really anything we need absolutely on the ship. We just need those two things. So when we come back and we relink, we'll get everything off of the ship beyond those two things. So when I'm pulling stuff in the future, I don't have to worry about it. Alright. Let's relink here. Oh, scatter cannon drone coming in. Now you can see the guns in full action. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Look at all those cannons. That is the power of that rotary gun it just shreds things in unbelievable speeds. And let's connect up here. Should be pretty much aligned. And this time I'm not going to worry about getting a landing gear locked on. I'm just going to lock on with the connector. It'll be fine. Let's level this out a little bit. And that looks fine. So we'll find the connector, which should be the highest one here, and we'll lock it. Very good. We'll go to our hydrogen thrusters. Thrust. And turn everything off, so we're not wasting our fuel in there. Excellent. So you guys got to see the guns. Finally, you've got to see the guns. It took a while to get them for something to attack while I was recording, because it seemed like whenever something attacked, it was always like in the middle of the night after I was like just waiting for it to reset, like the sun come back up so I could do another recording. But yeah, whatever this was, it got absolutely wrecked. A little bit of ice in there, but loud. Yeah, the ice caused it to jump a little bit because it spawned when I cut it out. But yeah, no worries about defense as long as my my dropship is on duty. That's for sure. Although now the concern is if stuff comes from this flank and flies over the tower, there's a little bit of concern there. But beyond that, we're good. The other option for dealing with that is, although this would be an absolute pain in the ass, would be to extend this out and put like a cargo container up there, a small cargo, and then put an advanced rotor on top of that cargo, then make a turret on top of this, but whatever. That would just take way too much work. Alright. We've got this reconnected. It's much further out, so we don't have to worry about that. This thing is... I find it every so often, this thing just gets, like, stuck up. And how to change it and how to fix it is just to reload the save. So I'm going to do that right now real quick. And loading back in, it just magically works again. Yeah, it's just because this thing is probably getting way too long with the amount of pistons on it that I have. And thinking about it, when it comes to, if I'm going to be using this method of sort of radial drilling all the way out to where I want to it be with this, which is going to be like out here, it's going to be absolutely silly and buggy. So I think after a point of doing radial drilling, when it starts getting a little too buggy, because we have also a rotor here, I can start this thing spinning, and I can just do a punch through, straight through. I can just mine essentially a straight line out to a point, and then pull it back, move it another few degrees, punch a straight line out to a point, and just sort of do it that way. So eventually we'll get to that. But we have all these refineries. They're all set up. Are they good again? Yes, everything is functional. Power efficiency modules in place. Everybody's grabbing stone and refining it. And then hopefully this will keep up with the stuff here, as it's just so much. Just so much. What I think I might do is actually might make these just dedicated stone. Let's do that, because I've got some more stuff here. I can put a... let's grab another couple sorters. Oh, come on. I need computers, really? Fine, we can make some computers. We have the power to do it. Where are they? There they are. Make me 1,000 computers. I'll never run out of things this way if I just make 1,000 of them at a time. And what we'll do is we will grab stuff for conveyor tubes. Let's cut this off here. And let's put in a sorter going into these guys. and we're going to set this up as whitelist stone, and we're going to actually set it to drain, because we're going to make it force stone into these things. So let's whitelist our stone, and let's drain all. Oh, I accidentally turned it off. Drain all. And now if we look at the refineries, those are the ones on the ship, so they have a little bit of nickel in them. You can see these are hopefully being forced into them with stone. Hopefully. Maybe this isn't moving as fast as I wanted it to. But we only want these dealing with stone, so we won't have any other materials going on there. Then, going back, what we'll do is we'll put on a conveyor here and bring it back over and into the top of this thing. Come on. There we go. Rotate, you silly thing. And then this will be a return pipe, which I will have a sorter of only manufactured things. So I can keep pulling them out. It's an idea. I'm not sure if it's going to work exactly how I wanted it to, but at least it's something to think about. It's kind of how I want to do my eventual conveyor setup here, is using sort of these double filtered systems. So then this would be whitelist, and it would be all ingots. Drain all. I keep turning that off when I click out of there. There we go. So now all ingots from this type of here should start to get pulled out and get transferred over. Or at least that's the idea. Refinery. Yeah, it looks like it's just trying to pull it from the first one, because it keeps trying to pull the first thing, and then the next piece of stone goes in there, and then it just keeps pulling from this first refinery. That's kind of funny. I could do like a filter for each refinery to pull it out. But yeah, that's the idea I wanted to do for my eventual setup in this base, is that I'm going to have essentially something like this with it going in and out like so for pretty much every single component. And then that way I can sort of control what goes to every single thing, because I want to have specific refineries for specific resources. So if I come back and I have a set of uranium, I can just sort of plunk it into the system, and I know uranium would go into a yield one, where a bunch of stone, say, would go into a speed one, where, you know, I don't care about the fact that, you know, I'm not going to get the most resources out of it. So that way I can configure my filters to set up my blocks of refineries and storage and stuff like that to be particular resources, which will be awesome. But in the meantime, this thing is getting close. It maybe needs about like one more overnight for the nanite machine to be done with it. Ooh, but this thing is all built. This turret, it should be. You get the observation unit done. Yes, you did. Okay, let's play with that, because there should be a programmable block. No. And it's not on this. It's not on this ship yet. As it's in here, it's in the guts of the ship, but it probably hasn't been built yet. It's somewhere back here, that's for sure. Those are the gyros. Is that the programmable block right above it? I think so. That's the shield emitter, which is actually complete, I see. Nice. Nice complete shield emitter, so I had enough gold for that. That's nice. Conveyor junction. Armor controls. There is somewhere back here is a programmable block, but I forget where I stuck it. It's somewhere inside this hall here. But we're going to figure this out. Let's just throw on some programmable block right now just so that I can experiment with this and show you guys what I mean by having this turret on here. Because it works just like the other rotor turrets. I'll just throw this right on top of the cockpit. How about? Program that up. We can edit it, and we will browse the scripts, and we'll go to the turrets ones, which is going to be the AI slaving turret. And remember, when we set things up, we need to go elevation, azimuth, and designator. So, and of course turret group. Okay, let us get our little advanced rotors here. So, advanced rotor to elevation. That's for the dropship. Small advanced rotor. This is what I want.
No fuel.
Do I not have this guy working? Small advanced rotor. Into that. Into there. Yeah, should be good. So I should be able to see small advanced rotor. Oh, but it's not showing up. The third one, because there should be three. Because there's one here, there's one there. Huh. Strange. I'll have to figure this out. And I totally remembered what was happening because... Okay, fine with the no fuel. My god. Because this particular rotor was the one that came with the blueprint, it already had the name that I had assigned it with the blueprint. So that is actually turret back. This is what I'm calling this turret. Then the turret down here is turret nose. And so if I go into here, if I go turret, we got turret group back, turret group nose, and it already has turret nose azimuth there. So it already has that stuff. So I just need to go and find those other small advanced rotors.
No fuel.
And name it turret nose. Wait, no, this is not turret nose. This is turret back elevation 1 and turret back elevation 2. Very good. Now I can play with these things. So turret back elevation 1. We'll set this to a little bit of speed here, and then we'll turn it off, and then we can see which one that was. So that was this one, and the positive was making it turn downwards. So we want this one to be 0 to minus 89. And I don't like going to minus like full 90 degrees because I find it just bugs it a little bit, where it like will get there and then it'll be like trying to flip over into the other percentages. But anyway, so back, turret back, elevation 1. So this one is going to be lower limit of minus 89 to 0. And we will give it that velocity. This one is going to be 0 to 90. And we'll give it a little bit of velocity here. And now they should both be pointing upwards. Yes, perfect. All right. And then we don't have to give any thing to the azimuth one, the turning around, because as long as these don't aim down, we don't have to worry about where it aims in the front, like where it aims around the ship. The only one that we have to specify the azimuth for is this one, because it can shoot the nacelles from underneath here. Everything else has a full 180 degrees clearance on them. So with that, then we just need to put those and their Gatlings into a turret group with this this observation unit. So we'll go. That stupid no fuel is going to get really annoying. So we'll get turret back designator, and then we can just say turret back if I can spell correctly. Jeez. Alright, we also have to go Gatling guns. So, Gats. Oh, I'm not going to find these Gatling guns easy, aren't I? It's a problem when having all the Gatling guns over there on that thing. All we can do is hope that the nanite doesn't fix these in time for me to tell which ones they are. Gatling gun, there we go. Turret back. Gatling 1. Turret back. Gatling 2. 3. And 4. And now we can say turret back. And then put everything into that group. Save it. And then find that designator. Turret back designator. And we can actually increase this aiming radius as high as we want it. So we can have this thing shooting at 1200 meters. Our weapons won't be effective at that range, but we can start aiming if we want there. We can take control of it. And we can see the guns side by side are following this thing. So we got a nice little rotor turret on this thing active. All we have to do is put a little ammo in the storage container and this thing would function. Now it's going to say that designator is out of ammunition if you try to shoot with this. But that's because I believe this designator, a transmitter charge, which I'm not sure exactly what that does, but we don't need any ammo for this thing, as its entire thing is just to be an aimer. It doesn't have to actually hit anything. It just needs to point at the target. Now, along with that, we can give this thing a little bit of fanciness if we want to, a little bit of armor. I'm thinking something like that. A little bit of armor blades going up like so. Oh, what did I cut off? Where was it? I wanted this one. There we go. That's the one I wanted to cut off. We'll give this a little half block here. This will be a slant up there to sort of protect the back of the observation unit. But I wonder if that would cause it to miss anything. I'm not sure. But how I designed my other ones is I did this, and then it seemed to be able to pick up stuff from behind it as well. So we'll leave it like so. But yeah, we can just give these things a little bit of flair by giving them a little bit of armor on them. And it'll look good. But I believe that should be enough for this episode. As the sun is going down here overnight, I'm going to get this little fighter all finished up. Oh, geez, I flew right off there. And expand the solar array probably another 3 or 4 blocks in every direction, which will give me even more power. And then we'll truly take this thing out. We'll go kill some stuff. We'll go raid some of these bases. These outposts, I feel, need to die. And finally, probably off camera, I'm going to set up another mining rig here at the gold. Because we need that gold. We need it so badly. I need all the gold in my life. And as I've said, I promised I will get that mining rig when I do this recording. When I do this off camera and I set that up, I will get that on the workshop. So as the time of that this is going up on the going up on my channel, that should already be on the workshop for probably a couple days already. So you should be able to go get it immediately. But that is going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and good hunting out there.